We bring you a brand new special interquel episode of Big Mecha, but not huge. We are doing a side story
Because it's Gundam.
regarding regarding Mobile Suit Gundam Gquuuuuux. This is going to be a regarding 2 episodes that have come out recently. Episodes 9 and episodes 10. Yeah, episode 9 and episode 10. So
episode 9 10.
So I've got here the 2 co-hosts, Will and Paul. Say hello, Will and Paul.
How do you do?
Damn it, you were both supposed to say it at the same time. I wanted you to overlap and make everybody think that you're one person.
What makes you think we're not?
You're not one person.
Well, that kind of worked there, I guess. Whatever. Anyways, guys, these last 2 episodes of Gquuuuuux, can you believe that there's only 2 episodes
And then
left?
the entire show is over and they'll never do more?
That's what it's starting to look
So,
like.
okay, I have thoughts on that. Are we discussing that?
Let's just discuss everything as a whole.
So, first off,
Um,
did you guys notice that there is one frame of the bedside table for Lala, and on that frame is a tiny glass bottle with the same purple liquid that Cecilia name drops as a really rare and probably expensive perfume in the next episode?
Uh-huh. Yep.
So that's tying
yeah.
Lala to Cecilia. Don't know how, but at the very least, they're like aware of each other. Or Cecilia, she cares about new types, so she would know Lala exists. So I don't know if that's going to go anywhere. It would be hard to get to it in 2 episodes,
So-
like even at this show's breakneck pace. But
If she does know that she exists, what's to, stop us from thinking that maybe she's the one who put her there in the first place?
she
Yeah.
kept her as so that nobody knows she exists because she wants her left alone. She's like, I don't want Girin and everybody else to know she's on the board. She's a backup plan for me.
That makes
Yeah.
sense considering all the shit that has gone down.
Cecilia is playing game. Cecilia is playing 3-dimensional chess when everybody else is playing 2-dimensional chess.
Girin
That
went
is-
Lizard Spock, and then she just pulls out a gun.
So it's rock, paper, scissors,
Like-
bazooka. Oh. Well,
I mean,
that's
that
not
sounds
fair.
standard for the show.
That's not
honestly,
that's not fair.
honestly, when Will was talking just now, I was like, holy shit, what if it wasn't just Shar who got premonitions of what's coming? What if also Cecilia got premonitions of what could have happened, and she is making
When did Shar get
moves?
premonitions?
Like when he chose to actually go on the mission to capture the Gundam. He said he felt like something was pulling him to go and do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Like-
think that's a premonition.
No.
I think that was just like the internal urge.
Yeah, but at the same
But
time,
that's a
what
different thing than a premonition. A premonition is where basically
Premonition
like,
is what
Final
Lala gets.
Destination.
Premonition is where she literally
Yeah.
sees the future and then it happens.
Speaking of, let's go ahead and talk
yeah.
about that real quick.
Did you know
Yeah.
that Lala is actually just a psychic lady? See, Lala in our world would live in California and be a psychic.
Oh, okay. So it's not that she would
Yeah.
just sacrifice herself,
That's
For
for
her
love. That's the whole Romeo
Oh.
and Juliet thing. We were all teenagers. We remember how intense emotions get when you're that young.
Yeah, right.
It's
So she can actually
creepy
feel the fact
how
that she
long.
sacrificed herself for her love, even though she's not? What in the
I feel-
multiverse is this?
I think she literally feels like her life was supposed to go in one direction, and then
The band?
because it didn't go in that direction, it's no longer relevant. So she's literally feels like she's left in limbo,
I
and
think
I don't know
that
why.
could be a particular feeling that she might have.
I mean, it's how they're writing.
I don't know, because I think she
how they
still
wrote her.
believes that Shar might end up coming for her. Because
Yeah,
she's
she's
under
literally
the belief
waiting
that
for
that'll
that.
happen. But she also knows that this particular Shar, quote unquote, no longer exists.
Huh?
However,
Mhm.
we get to this new episode, and Shar is clearly there.
What are you talking about? No, he's not.
That
It's not
dude
Shar.
with the blonde hair that, like,
That's not Shar.
who is
He's
it?
That's
too
not Shar.
Who is
He's
it?
too
then?
He's
young.
nothing like him.
It looks
He has
exactly,
flat.
He even has his
No,
voice.
He
That's
doesn't.
an art. When did
That's-
he says like one thing and he doesn't sound that much like.
It's Char, dude. That's definitely Char. There's
He's
why
not
would they
using any of the
focus on
Char
him?
names. He's not
So
using any of the Char names either.
okay, so when would they actually use any different Char names? Considering that everything else has also been different too.
Okay, I'm sorry, but if you're going to be paying homage to the original, you don't give Char Aznable a new alias. You use an
Right, kind of
alias
like how
he
you would give the
has.
Brow Bro of Kikaroga. Like, yeah, okay,
You mean like the GM
Apparently, it
Gelgoog?
was always supposed to. It was
yeah,
always supposed to
exactly.
have that.
Again,
But
because of that,
nevertheless,
name changes will always be different. So I'm under the firm belief that that dude is actually Char. He saw what was going to happen, and he just bolted out right away.
oh yeah, no. I think he
Hmm.
works for Cassilia, and I wouldn't.
He
I know
wants
it's gonna
Cassilia
be.
dead.
He doesn't want Cassilia dead.
Well, he did before.
I'm.
Bullshit.
I don't think he's. I think he is a Char clone Cassilia made.
Oh, we're already on that storyline?
That I'm. There is no
You know what?
way.
I will give you that.
Yeah, I would too.
I think he's a Char clone that Cassilia made because
And
Cassilia
that's
is
why he
making
was
moves.
right next to the scientists.
Yeah, and and I will not lie, he looks literally like Char trying to hide his face with his hair. He does look like that. But
Yeah,
at the
Okay,
same
and
that's
now
time,
you're
also an
saying
art
like,
style.
oh, it's not Char, but if it's a
but
clone, it's still
Yeah.
Char.
I don't think it's the actual Char. I
Well,
think it's a
technically,
The one that
clone
disappeared
of
into
him.
a black hole.
Yeah.
mm,
I think it's a clone or possibly no, nope. No, I'm not even gonna say that.
Is it Sayla in a really tight outfit hiding the fact that she's a woman?
Yeah,
Changing her
I was
voice?
gonna say it could have been Sayla, but at the same time, like, nope,
If
nope.
so, if this was a different anime, that would be entirely plausible because anime
Yeah.
is weird like that, and they will hire a man and a woman to voice act the same
you
character
Mhm.
just
and
blew
then
my fucking
wildly change
mind.
them.
My God.
But no, I'm like it's. I
I wouldn't see
think
that in this
it's a
show,
Char
but
clone.
yeah.
It's
I mean,
either a
just
Char
about anything
clone.
can happen in this show.
Oh, actually, that's a better idea. What if it's like Sayla's child?
Who's 6? She was
No.
like 15 in the
No. Oh
original
wait, yeah, never mind.
storyline.
No, yeah.
Like if she had a kid at
She's
12,
17.
then they'd be like 10, maybe.
Mm, mm. I do think if it is anything to do with Char, if he is anything to do with Char, I think he's either a clone that Cassilia made because she was wanting to test out new types and see if it was something that was genetic.
Well, okay.
Uh-uh.
Here's why I think it won't be a clone, and the reason being is
He's
because
just
of
too
the episodes
young.
that we got earlier.
Yeah.
Regarding the two new types that infiltrated Side Six.
Hmm.
So
The Earth ones, who are fake, by the way.
right,
Yeah.
and they were made technically by Giran, or rather, they were commandeered by Giran in
They
order
were
for him to do that.
Giran
Yeah.
hired them, but they were created by the Earth Sphere, the Earth
Right.
Federation, because the Earth Federation still exists. It's just incredibly weakened, but Xeon isn't strong enough to just march on Earth and take it over. So they're in this like
Right.
weird Cold War situation.
And apparently they removed the name new type now. They are
What do you,
called Diablos.
no,
Well,
new type
that's
still
only
exists.
per. Yeah, I think it's still just a specific group within Cassilia's faction.
Calling it
Um,
because Neon says she's a Diablo.
right, but everyone else still says new type.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Neon says it
But
because
I think
Miguel
it's
called
just
her one, and then he died.
Right, and
yeah,
I've
but I
been
think it's Giran's propaganda to make new types seem different, all
mm,
freaking
Yeah,
possible, but
fascist
considering
ways.
what he was saying regarding new types before he unceremoniously died.
did you notice the
Yeah.
way he talked about it? Like new types don't exist, and it's like, Giran, you're in a room with your
Hmm.
sister who leads new type research. You hired new types to go kill her. You know they exist. Why are you talking like you're in front of a camera and you have to maintain a charade that new types aren't real? They are.
It's because he doesn't respect his sister. He doesn't respect any of his family.
No,
Well,
I
the ones
think
that
it's
are
that he
still
doesn't.
alive.
I think it's
True.
that he's trying to keep up a facade, and that general that was in the room along with everyone else. If he
So
starts saying something different, if and it's not behind
He's in
closed
front of
doors,
his group, so he can't like just
yeah,
speak to her plainly because he has to keep
hmm
pretending that they aren't real, that
yeah,
they don't exist, that they're not a thing.
well, It's
Yeah.
funny that was the case because how that one chick just completely is like, "How dare you talk to him?"
Oh man, she
Yeah,
was
just
that simped so hard that
Yes,
she
she did.
choked on it. Uh,
I honestly
uh,
thought for a second it was Cecilia using some new type
my
ability,
You
brain was
thought she
like
like,
had some
wait, are
fucking
we?
force abilities,
force
didn't
choke.
you?
Yeah, are we going full Vader? Is this the full Vader? Did we just go?
But
You know what? New types are just psychic.
you know
They
what's
have
really funny
superpower.
about this whole scene, though? It was a couple episodes ago for us, recording,
Hmm.
that not Char, Paul actually brought up the question, why does she wear this? And
Oh,
now
she
we
just
have a
does.
legitimate reason.
For that
Hmm.
scene, she was wearing a clear keep her alive thing. The purple thing is just an affectation, so she could get away with it.
Right,
Um,
but now it's something that you can honestly say, well, this is something that they may have planned from the start.
And I'm
Always
not
putting
gonna
that up
lie.
and then eventually saying, oh, this is how I always look. And then boom, you're dead because I
Yeah,
can breathe and you can't.
yeah,
yeah,
I
I'm
will
not gonna lie.
say,
I wouldn't be surprised that if Cecilia wears that all the time because she's that fucking paranoid someone's gonna try to assassinate her. I
I
would
wouldn't be
cry.
yeah.
surprised, yeah.
Like she
I,
is that kind of. She knows who she's messing with all the time, and she
Yeah.
knows how risky it is.
So
I
let's do a
was
quick recap.
okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say the biggest. So the other huge thing I took away from these two episodes that I wanted to kind of get your guys' thoughts on was, did you notice the way that they've essentially portrayed Cecilia up until now, and how she talks in this episode almost goes against that? So what I mean by that is she up until now has been very specific and reactionary. She doesn't believe that her siblings know what they're doing and that sort of stuff, so she's like, I'm going to have to be the one to take over. She doesn't demonize and hate new types, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, she says out loud, my brother killed our father, and I don't, like, I get why he did it, but I also
Hmm.
dislike that he did it. But then she mentions Giran not having the stomach for like killing half of humanity, and she talks about it like, I don't think he can bear the weight of it, which makes him weak, and I don't think that I can trust him with the future. And I'm like, hold on, are you saying like
Well,
you would
hang
be
on, real quick.
okay?
So when she said she killed, when she said that he killed Zeon Daikun, she was talking about Char and Sayla's
No,
dad.
he
No, she was
she
talking
was
about
talking about her dad.
he killed,
No,
yeah,
no, no.
her dad.
She said I understand why why they ended up killing Zeon Daikun because that was necessary. But then she talks about the separate thing of
Yeah,
him killing their father, completely different person, and then that's why
yeah.
she said patricide
But
I
then
can't
she
stand
makes an
behind.
offhanded comment about how she
Yeah.
doesn't think her brother can bear the weight of all the people who died in the war, and essentially infers that he's weak, so he can't stand that weight, while also kind of inferring that there would be more death to come and that she sees herself as strong enough to bear it, which is a very ruthless take on the amount of people who died in the war because, and they repeatedly get it, half of all of humanity died in the war, which means that
Hmm.
they never tell you how many people were alive, but given that colonies inhabited and Earth still has people on it, it's in the billions with a B that died. Like even with the drop off of human population, once we started launching sides into space and filling them like cities, you're talking about millions or probably billions of people who died in the war. And for her to be so like
Mm-hmm.
especially ruthless and say, "Hey, that was bad, and I don't think my brother's going to be able to like long term bear the weight of all that death." Not that we're done, because there's still more people who have to die, and it's like, oh, hold on. Half of humanity is a big number. Maybe we don't talk about it like that's not enough. There needs to be more.
Okay, I do have to ask one question because when that happened, I did feel like she was. I feel like the show is trying to make us see Cecilia as this leader who's willing to go as far as possible to do the
No,
right
that's her
thing.
brother. That's her brother.
But
You sure it's not do the Reich thing?
yes, correct. Sorry, do the right thing. No, it's both of them. It's both of them. You know, the only reason why Garma is probably still alive is because he's a better poster boy than he is a, a soldier.
More
and he's
useful
better.
alive than dead.
Yeah, that's and Garma is easily manipulated.
Manipulated.
Yeah, sorry,
Manipu.
easy.
God damn it! You're confusing my shit
Yeah,
too.
yeah. He's easily manipulated pro- into promoting the propaganda. So, and that's what Cecilia is doing right now. And honestly, any scene she has with Neon, I kind of get, I kind of get like the ick because I feel like she is grooming Neon.
Yes, to be a child
It's like,
soldier. She wants her to kill
Definitely to
things.
be a child soldier. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it is. It's like it's clear she's trying to manipulate the girl to do whatever she wants her to do and make her think that
He's on
Cecilia
her
has
side.
her back.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Oh, also, am I the only person who had flashbacks to Gundam X when you saw that giant thing open up?
Yes, because I've not seen Gundam X.
I haven't seen the anime. All I know is about about the Gundam X that basically uses a giant satellite to
Oh, you
shoot
mean
a
what the
beam
solar
with.
ray ended up looking like this time around?
Yeah.
So that's the replacement for the solar ray, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, because the solar ray originally was like this giant colony that ended up being converted into an actual,
Gun.
solar ray.
They made a gun.
Wasn't that
Yeah,
0083?
and they ended up saying in this one that it was supposed to be used for weather purposes in order to help make things a little bit
Yeah.
easier for people on
And then
Earth.
they switched it
Yeah,
to becoming a black hole gun that shoots Zeknovas.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also
Yeah.
very clear that it.
Now, what's inside the giant Zeknova, destruction machine?
Oh, well, they've got the Rose
Oh.
of Sharon, or
Which is the Elbeth.
Sharon, if you want to call her that.
Sharon! Sorry, I don't know why I did that.
The Rosa Sharon that has Lala frozen in time, and I do like little artifact that they put on the outside of the
Oh, where they make it like
Elsmith.
shimmer, where it's like almost like
Yeah,
it's moving or breathing because it's.
yeah.
They mentioned that it's probably unstable because it's in their world because it's not from there. It's from a different Gundam timeline.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that? Okay,
And,
so does that mean that like episode 11 and 12 they're gonna rip open a portal in space time and we're gonna get the Power Rangers team up that all the fans wanted?
No, I don't see
no.
that
I really hope
happening.
that doesn't happen.
Mainly due to the
That'd be
fact
terrible.
I know, but I do see them. All right, so here's the way that I expect this to go down. I expect there to be another
Well,
Zeknova.
other than the one that they fired.
Because there's got to be there's got to be one more sense of huge destruction, or the rip through time and space to the point where we actually see either somebody come through or somebody get forced through. I can see that happening. I think that obviously this is turning into a giant, scale war of infighting with the zombies. With regards to Nian and Machu, I already told Paul this earlier. I mean, with the previews that we've got going on, the next episode is called Alpha Side. Take that as you will. I think by the time the last episode airs, we're gonna get Nian and Machu do a showdown outside of their Gundams. They both carry guns, and considering that Machu has not killed anybody in this entire series, even during the clan battles, because the only one who has killed, between her and Nian is just Nian. I'm betting Machu's gonna end up having to kill Nian, or accidentally kills her in a final showdown when she probably chooses to miss and then ends up getting her anyway.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be through pistols.
I have an idea of what's gonna come, and I do think that you were semi right, but I think
Hmm.
we're gonna get a Zeknova, and two people are going to reconnect. We are going to have a Zeknova happening because of Neon and Machu's fight, and Shalia Bull's going to get pulled into it,
Ooh.
and he's going to die. Sorry,
I
no,
can see
he's going
that
to get
happening.
sucked into the. He's going to get sucked into the Zeknova, and he's gonna communicate. His last communications is going to be, "You're here,"
Huh.
and it'll end, and we'll during the fight, you're gonna constantly hear what's his name, Shuji.
Yeah,
You're
not
gonna constantly,
Shinji like you were saying
yeah,
earlier.
sorry. You're gonna hear
Fucking
voice.
Ava lover.
Oh, shut it,
We're gonna
Fred.
hear Ava's voice. Yeah. We're gonna hear Shuji's voice talking to Nyan and Machu, trying to calm them down to not fight each other. And
He doesn't
then
care about that.
no, he's not going to care about them fighting each other. He's going to try to get them to calm down so that they can save the Rose, because that's what that's what he was going to Earth for,
Oh,
was the
okay.
Rose. He's going to keep trying to talk to them to calm them down so that they can get to the Rose.
Okay, I could see that.
And then it's going to turn into, when the Zeknova happens, most likely half of the G the G Cux is going to get destroyed. Same thing with the Fred, and they're both going to go at each other with pistols because of the freaking symmetry that they were building up on the last episode.
Okay, I could see that.
But I don't think it I think it's not going to end there. I think
You think
the
that we're actually going to get a season 2?
I don't think we're going to get a season 2. I think we're going to get a brand new series. I think we're going to get a
Related to
brand new
this or no?
related to this. Like it's gonna be
Like a Zeta
basically,
situation
kind of.
where it like
I think
jumps
it's
a
gonna
year or
be
something, gives you a new character, and then the other ones kind of mold their way in, and you wind up tying a whole bunch of things together.
I think it'll be more of, it's gonna be called the Cassilia Wars, where it's Cassilia uh trying to take over all of Xeon and put it under her control. And that's when we're going to get classic characters showing up in this new timeline, which it could be new, could be different things that are going on, but I think
I
it's
think
going to
that's
be
wishful
something like that.
thinking. I don't think that's going to happen.
Most likely they're gonna do it like they did with Unicorn, do a 6 episode OVA, and each episode is gonna take over from a classic Gundam pilot trying to survive Cassilia taking over each one of their colonies.
That'd be
Because
interesting, but I still don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to end up a lot more tragic than that. I have a
I'm pretty sure
feeling.
they're both gonna die by a Zeknova, or that they're gonna shoot at each other, and they're gonna try to shoot at each other, and the Elmith is gonna open up and Lala is gonna come out.
So it's going to end up in one of two different ways, because the director for this particular show, his favorite one is 0080. So take that as you
Oh,
will.
yeah, they're gonna kill
So
each other hard.
one is either going to kill the other. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Machu killing Nian. It's her one kill throughout the entire show. Or they're going to go the hardcore Tomino route and kill everyone. And I mean everyone. So, like, let's go back to the idea of the Rose of Sharon being utilized for the solar ray.
Hmm.
What if the Zeknova collapses in on everything, the entire universe? What if the entire universe collapses?
I don't see it being able to collapse the whole universe, but I do see the Zeknova destroying the Earth.
Maybe. It's just, I don't know, man. There's going to be a lot of destruction and a lot of death. What about you, Will?
So, did you guys notice that the shape that the rose took on as it was exuding the energy looked kind of like a butterfly?
No.
No,
Paul
damn
hates
you,
that direction.
damn
But
If
that makes
you.
sense because the multiverse.
yes.
It's
So
not the
here's the thing.
multiverse, it's
I
the
don't.
future.
So I think I don't know what they're gonna do with the sleeping Lala and the Lala that's not sleeping and is alive and is from their world. New types function differently in their version of reality than they
Mm-hmm.
did in the original Gundam. Just straight up, they're not the same. In the original Gundam, even at their quote unquote strongest, it was still really, really grounded and not as like superpower transcendent humanity that they're going for in this. As much as I love that,
It was a
it's a very
Spidey
different
sense.
iteration. Well, it was a feeling. They kind of tapped into like a basic version of what this universe leans really hard into, which is being able to like fully sense and feel another person. And they did this in the book too, where the new type was an expansion of human consciousness, but it's still arguably in its infancy. So the expansion is still in beginning stages. They're not where they are in this, where they can like full on feel another person. They don't even need their eyes. They just know where they are, and it's hard to argue that like hard science rules apply. It's almost like spirituality and magic. They're not following like, oh, their brain lets them. They don't even explain any of that. Because they don't really
Mm-hmm.
understand it. It's essentially almost like a soul magic power in this version of their reality. In other ones, they basically could like feel and sense things, and it made them faster at reacting. I would argue because instead of instruments, they were reacting to the living creature inside, and then beyond that, they were also reacting to just the world around them. They could just feel the universe. They were connected to it in a way that most people aren't. And again, still way, way weaker, even in the book, than this version of New Type. But it's kind of like the beginning of that.
Yeah.
And to go with that, I would say the. I think that they will have the characters probably fight each other, but there's a part of me that looks at Gquuuuuux and Fred and still sees them both as only partially finished. Like they're both clearly based off of a template, and it kind of makes me wonder if just a related suit line or if there's something missing, and we're gonna get that something missing in the next episode or two.
That's a good question.
And
So,
because they don't feel complete to me, they still feel really incomplete, and they are different, but not by much. It's mostly paint job.
so
And then one has two tiny
I'm gonna
funnels
plug our
and
Discord here
can
real
connect to
quick.
the giant gun.
Discord for Big Mecha but not
Public.
huge. We have some irregular conversations in there. One of the things that I've managed to find is an article based off of the naming convention of the Gquuuuuux and the Gfred. They seem to be based off a programming language. And the really interesting thing about that is that it looks like that since they are running on a particular code, or at least a code infrastructure, we may actually see something to go along the lines of either bringing back the Red Gundam, which was supposed to be something else, or we may actually see an amalgamation of everything, which would be your template that you think.
Also, I kind of see, and that's the other thing. Nian and Machu are sort of the two sides. They're really pushing the whole duality thing. The two of them, even though they're in battle and Machu is way more emotional because Nian can think more clearly, partly
Mm-hmm.
because of Nian's life experiences, she can deal with stress in a much better way than Machu. Machu, but Machu also is stronger as far as new type is concerned. She's way more in tune with the abilities, but like a raw natural talent, a la Amuro type of thing. She
Mm-hmm.
has a much deeper well that she's just barely scraped the surface of. Nian can do it, but like Char, she's much more controlled. There's probably that might even be part of the reason she can't do it as well, is because she's not as in touch with her emotions. She's not as vulnerable and exposed because in all versions of new type, you have to be open to what's around you. You have stupid Jedi sense, but not quite as dumb. Your brain and your like mind have to be open so that you can pay attention to what's happening. If you're closed off, you're not going to be as good at it.
Yeah.
So the way that they're writing this, they're paralleling the Char Amuro dynamic with Nyan and Machu, but Nyan and Machu don't hate each other. They don't have a blood feud. They're both children dragged into conflict, confused and lost and I think, I hope, that rather than going they all die, it's tragic, it feels kind of lame at this point, because, like, there's plenty of death to go around, there's plenty of depressing to go around, like,
Mm-hmm.
Xeon won, and it wasn't good. Like, everything still sucks and is shit. The
Mm-hmm.
Federation still exists, Xeon still exists, they're both still garbage. Like, nothing, their version is still bad. All versions of Gundam have conflict, especially UC, but this version sucks just as much as regular UC. Because in regular UC, you have Zeta, Double Zeta, and Char's counterattack because remnants kept dragging themselves up and causing more suffering. Never stopped fighting. And even in that world, until like F91, they never truly finished the conflict. F91 happens, and they're actually done with the conflict. It's over. It's truly finished, and there's really small groups, but you will always have that in a population. So they've actually gone beyond the 1 Year War finally, and they're moving forward and, kind of sticking things in museums, and it's all pushing them away from the massive, massive loss that was the war. And if F91 takes place in UC91, it's been a long time since I watched it, then it would be about 10 years after the original
Oh shit!
war. So
I
about
just
12
realized
years.
something.
So,
So
yeah.
you remember how when we talked earlier, how Turn A is supposed to be the end all be all of everything Gundam related?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's literally thousands, or like it's either centuries in the future or like over 1,000 years in the future of UC Gundam. It is UC Gundam, but it's so far ahead that the entire Earth got pushed back to like not Stone Age, but like really, really like crushed down, and they're slowly building back up. They just got like early 1900s cars, like the 1930s in America. That's where they just landed for like cars, and we're talking experimental vehicles and like biplanes. That's the level of technology they've reached, while the people on the moon have fucking interplanetary travel.
So my theory is that, I mean, just based off of what you were saying, what if the end all
Hmm.
be all for this particular show is that everything is being pulled from the Turn A side?
Paul will hate you. He will not like that.
Okay.
I mean, no, I think he would like it worse if I said everything is being pulled from the Ava side, which, to be fair, a lot of that is kind of
No.
true.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not that. This is borrowing fun nods to Ava, and he wrote the prequel, but it's like George R. R. Martin wrote the prequel to Elden Ring. He didn't write Elden Ring. He wrote the beginning
He
story
wrote the
and then was
lore.
like hands
Yeah.
off. Yeah, that's essentially what this is. He wrote the lore and the foundation, but I don't think he's been as involved as he was in a lot of the other things.
My big thing about this is they've done so much world building, so much for the story that I don't think they're just gonna let it. I think it was originally supposed to be one season, but I'm 98%
Okay?
sure it's gonna get renewed. 98% sure it's gonna get renewed, and at the same time, you can't just kill off one of these characters.
Yes, you can.
I
And
mean, you say that.
yes, I
You
say that,
absolutely can.
but as a Gundam fan, I know that killing off a character doesn't mean that they're actually dead. How many times have we
Explain.
seen, okay, say Machu and Neon have that shootout. Watch, Machu will think she killed Neon, but she actually survives. Cassilia gets her and sticks her into a mobile suit, and she is literally a living mobile suit from then on for the next season. They've done that before. Hell, we even have her on the side of the we have her on the side that did it once already with Thunderbolts.
She's a Federation pilot? Oh no, well, okay. That's
The Xeon
much.
did that
Yeah,
to their pilots, to their
correct.
amp pilots.
They also
So
made
I
them
wouldn't
more
be
amputee.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if Neon gets killed and Cassilia finds her, has her in a hospital, and Neon finds out that she's paralyzed from the waist down. And
Technically, didn't they also do that with Iron Blooded Orphans?
yeah, they did that one
Well,
Iron Blood and Orphans. That was a big boss. That was a big fight at the end of the first season.
yeah, he loses the function of one of his arms unless he's plugged into the suit because his nerves are so fried they can't work anymore. So it just
No,
hangs there.
I'm talking about the villain at the very
Yeah,
end.
the
Oh yeah,
villain, the one who
that
ends
guy
up
was plugged
getting
into the
quote
suit.
unquote
Yeah, yeah,
killed, and then he ends up coming back.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, they
So yeah.
they nearly killed him, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised if you get your shootout and no one really died, and Machu finds out
That's not what I'm
halfway through
paying
the second
Amazon Prime
season.
for.
Please,
Wait, did you say
What
paying?
you're paying Amazon? Ugh.
I mean,
All
yes.
I'm saying is that we know what's gonna happen, and death in Gundam is never 100%. Unless you see their ass
Well,
get
okay. The
vaporized,
the guy
unless you see
that
their ass gets
that dude that
vaporized,
Nian killed is definitely
they.
dead. He's definitely gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
That
was
man
gonna say just
disappeared.
about every single death we've
Like,
seen so far has been a
unless
legit death.
yeah, unless you see them get vaporized, they
And that guy
there's a
did.
pers- there's
Every
always
death in an OG
a possibility.
Gundam is legit.
But
I think
I
the only
am
one where
seeing
people
this.
skirt death so much is Gundam Wing.
No,
Well, yeah,
more people dying in the wing than
no,
most.
not main characters. They kill very few of the
Right.
Oh
main
yeah,
cast. There's so much main character protection in that show. It is goofy.
They legit try to kill
They
themselves and
have
it still doesn't work.
Yeah,
you know you
the main
always.
cast is so unkillable. They try to do it, and the story's like, no. And then they wake up and they're like, why am I not dead?
We can't give you literal plot armor, but we'll give you enough.
I
Please.
mean, the one with the most is
Raylina's
Hiro and then Relina. The two of them should have died so many
Oh
times.
yeah.
Raylina
So
should
many
have had
times
her
they
ass
should have been dead.
vaporized. I don't know how a Virgo's beam cannon dents your fender.
Bounces off the
Instead,
hood of her car and she's fine.
when I seen it shoot through mobile, when I seen it shoot
It can
through
vaporize a
Leos,
mobile suit, but it can't break a Cadillac. Heaven forbid it penetrates the engine
no, it
block of a
can't break a
Cadillac.
limo. It
Oh my
can't break a
god.
limo.
You know what? You know what? No, that car was clearly built by Nokia. That's why.
Yes, with a Gundanium alloy, with a
She had
Gundanium
a Gundanium
chassis.
car. It weighed like it had, 15 times the weight of a normal vehicle, but it was worth it.
Okay, as someone, I'm questioning myself here. Why hasn't Gundanium alloy come up anywhere else? Any
God
other
damn it,
show
we're
I've
not having this
seen?
Oh,
conversation.
No, every other Gundam show I've seen, it's always lunar titanium or neo
oh, because
titanium. I,
that's what it
yeah.
is. Neo titanium and lunar titanium are just magical metal that allows you to say robots exist in this world because, as Jared has said many times, you can't build a robot that big, it would literally collapse under its
Oh
own
yeah.
weight. He's correct. You can't. Once you put the armor plating on, no, not at all. It would move once, shatter whatever it has for joints, and probably crush itself to death because it's too heavy.
Hmm.
You could do it in space, but it's basically a spaceship at that
Yeah.
point. And momentum and inertia are things, so you'd have to cover them in jets so that they would like orient properly. But that's just a accept it makes cool magic robot in anime thing. Gundanium exists in the Wing universe for the same reason that lunar titanium, neo titanium, it's all just magic like a Minovsky particle. It's just a magic thing to exist to MacGuffin. They never bring it up because Wing is the only story, not true. Wing and its side stories involving the Gundam unit, also known as G Unit,
God
Hmm.
damn it. God
before
damn it. God
50
damn it. This
Cent
is the
did it.
middle of the week. God damn it.
G Unit.
You can continue talking. I'm just gonna be angry.
So, Gundam Unit was the one thing that got brought up as a side story that I'm aware of for Gundam Wing. So that would be the only other time you would see Gundanium alloy mentioned, but it's just a magic plot device thing. It's not real. It's as fake as anything else. In the original show, it was lunar titanium, which is a stupid name. Then it was neo titanium, which is much more marketable and sounds really grounded and real. That's like a thing someone would make and sell. It's titanium but better. So
It's
it's new
new
titanium.
titanium.
Yeah, that's literally all it is. Just new titanium or titanium plus.
You know, then we're
It
gonna get
that's
Shin
it.
titanium. Just saying.
Or ultra titanium, mega titanium, ultimate
Giga.
titanium, or ultimanium, ultimatanium. I don't know, ultimanium
Grandtanium.
probably. Yep, good old
Unobtainium.
branding.
Unobtainium. We
I
already
know.
got that in Avatar.
You know what? That's the ultimate one right there. No more. We're done. We're not talking about this anymore. God.
Okay.
Ugh.
I'll
But
ask the
no,
question.
yeah. All right. I will say this. I will say this. This season, this series so far has so much potential, and it has lived up to the potential it's been working with. There has been so much going on that it keeps but it keeps its own pace, and it doesn't make you feel overwhelmed at times. Yes, we had to
Hey,
watch this
Paul.
recent episode twice to make sure we didn't miss
I'm sure we
anything.
still miss
That's
stuff.
true. There was a lot going
I
on to the point where I honestly felt like I was rushed the first time I watched it. I was also watching it during my lunchtime, so that didn't help either.
no.
But yeah, watching it a second time around definitely helps. Not only that, but I was also reading an article about the episode at the same time.
Jeez.
So it definitely helped cement things a little bit because CBR.com, they are able to get a lot of traction out of it. And I'm like, well, you know what? That's because you're an actual publication.
Yeah, but the show has been going well. I will accept the fact that when Cassilia does shit, this entire coup that Cassilia does in this episode, she moved quickly on it. She didn't just let her assassination go through. They didn't fixate solely on the political ramifications. They also went into her taking the Big Zam fleet out, and they did that fast. And that is
Dude,
how it's supposed to go happen. When they didn't stretch it out, heck, you're doing a sneak attack, you will take out a shit ton of crap. And I did, and I was so happy when I heard, oh shit, it has an eye field. That hit me so hard in the heart. I was so happy to hear that.
what did you think of the fact that when the G-Fred came out with its funnels, it used the funnels as a distraction in order to get its own shots off?
That was a really good
That was
ploy.
clever.
Like that was solid to you because they were
Yeah, it
useless,
was.
but they distracted the pilot of the Big Zom, so he could just land on it and then
Hmm.
get past the eye field.
Also, isn't it really cool to see the fact that we got multiple Big Zoms around compared to the just one prototype
Yeah.
that they had in the
No,
original
they built
series?
like 4.
Dozel would be proud.
Well, that's what's interesting about that is that Dozel still died in the original. Well, in this
In this timeline, too.
Yeah, he did.
So I wonder how he died.
I think they said to the white suit, so I think it's inferred that she killed him.
But in a Big Zom?
Sayla's.
Maybe I don't
Sayla's
know that they
Gundam.
explicitly said it was in there. He could have died in Azaku.
Maybe.
Shin Matsunaga?
What?
But regardless,
What are you talking
these
about?
have been
No, we're
really-
talking about Dozel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. His best friend, Shin. Shin Matsunaga, the White Wolf.
No, Paul. We were talking about how Dozel could have died. And Dozel had a personal Zaku. He might not have been in a big zone during the fight. He might have been in his personal Zaku leading forces, and that
Have you
might be
s-
why he was killed.
Have you seen his personal Zaku?
Yeah, it's slightly bigger and has a bunch of gold on it.
Yeah, no, it's twice the size of a regular Zaku. Like, he's a big man, that's a big mech.
So he's got a
I mean, to
big
be
Z.
It's
fair,
supposed to be a joke on how Dozel is. He's an amazingly huge presence. And I will say, he was
Father,
my
he's
favorite
also
part
like
of
Father.
7 feet tall.
What was that?
He's like 7 feet tall, like officially.
Yeah.
He's huge.
Well, you know what they say. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. I couldn't finish.
His ass fell hard.
I mean, he didn't fall as hard as
Uh,
Lala did for Char. Oh,
Oh, let's do our recap finally. God damn.
In every universe,
man.
and if she doesn't meet him.
So, let's talk about episode 9 first, and then we'll gradually get into episode 10. So, episode
Okay.
9, it's all about Machu, right? Question mark? I think it's all
kinda.
about Machu.
Well, sort of. It's about Machu, but they're establishing Lala as a part of it. And they're also establishing she exists in this world. So when we show you the end of the episode, be surprised.
I mean,
Mhm.
woo! So Gquuuuuux is, transitioning to Earth. It manages to actually fall into Earth using its own entry sphere, doesn't it?
No, it just holds the shield in front of its face and doesn't
That's
die.
right, because she was freaking out when she was
Oh,
going in.
she
I forgot about
she
that.
was very scared. she was
Oh, yeah.
yelling at the suit. This is built for it, right? It's built for
But
this,
what
right?
was cool was that the suit ended up taking over to shield her itself. I remember that distinctly.
So I noticed that it does that. So after they establish that the Gquuuuuux essentially kind of can do whatever it wants when it wants to,
And the G-Fred.
and the Gfred too as well, they straight up have the Gquuuuuux like do what it wants now. So multiple times in this
Mhm.
episode, it does what it wants. Like it sends out the 2 arms that you're supposed to use. They look like hands. When you're controlling the like Super Saikamu version of Gquuuuuux, when that's activated, those are the control sticks. Those come out and it literally hugs her to hold her and be like, "You're fine. It's okay." It does everything else automatically.
safety
It
blanket.
it ejects the core fighter, then it flies the core fighter over, and it drops the suit right on the Rose of Sharon for them to find later. So it does all of that without asking and without her interacting with the mobile suit. It is doing what it wants, which is wild.
Yeah, it's the entirety of it is wild. So she ends up crash landing, and then she magically wakes up in a bed, completely surrounded by other people, and like, how did I get here? I'm like, you know
She's
what? This
she's
seems like
fine.
a trope that I've seen before. Oh, wait a minute, they do this in every goddamn Gundam show.
She's truly the main character.
Yeah, because I had just finished watching Kukuru's Doan's Island, the movie, and the same thing happened to Amuro. He ends up falling into an ocean. He wakes up, and by the way, he falls in the ocean inside the Gundam. He ends up waking up in some dude's house surrounded by kids. Like, huh?
Where'd the robot go?
Right. And
Wait,
honestly,
but
that's the basis of the plot for a good portion of it.
but wait,
but
where's
yeah,
the
it's just
robot?
like, so
Where's my Gundam?
yeah, I was like, this happens a lot in this show or this series, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that is very much a giant robot trope of main character passes out and gets like hurt and then wakes up in a bed fine and then
oh yeah.
you're like, okay, but where did everything else go?
So the interesting thing is that Shalia, who is technically in charge of the Gquuuuuux, inside the commandeered white base,
Yes,
which is green now,
the green base.
basically let Machu go to Earth of
It's
her own
actually called
volition.
what it is.
What's its real name
It's
officially?
actually called Pegasus.
Oh yeah, that is the official designation.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the designation of the Xeon version?
Yeah, it's called the Pegasus
Well,
base.
technically
Oh
the
wow, so
the
they don't
ship
call it Trojan Horse anymore.
Yeah.
horse is what Xeon nicknamed it because they didn't know what it was and because it looks like a horse. The official model, like internally for the Federation, I believe, is the Pegasus. That's what it's called, like, F-22 Raptor. Like that's the official name. They call it white base because that's its designation. So they're designated the white base, and when you say that over comms or or over anything like that, you're strictly saying that Pegasus, white base. So if they had four of them, white base would still be that one, run by Bright Noah and stuff. It's just specifically theirs. But
Got
technically,
it.
yeah, it is the Pegasus. That's like the model of it. But
It's
they
the
officially call
classification.
them the White Base because it's just a big white ship. I think they call it a rocking horse at some point because it literally just looks like a horse.
hmm
And yeah.
And they actually used it for what it was
Well, that
supposed
was
to be
really
used
cool
for.
when they did that, where it smashed in the side, and that was a really neat moment several episodes ago. But getting back to this one, Sean.
Yeah. So with this one, like I said, Shalia ends up letting her leave,
Yep.
and they basically are tracking her the entire time. It's just
Mhm.
she isn't aware of it. And Machu wakes up. Paul, where does she wake up?
She wakes
Remember,
up
you're under
basically.
oath.
Or,
Fuck.
or
She
you're under
basically wakes up.
You're under Orth. Who the fuck is Orth?
She wakes up in the brothel,
Yeah,
and
basically.
she wakes up and is automatically told that she is a guest.
Yep.
She does not have to worry about servicing any clients.
No,
That's
But
not
they
what
want
they
her
say.
to.
Here.
Yes, they do.
No,
They do.
They don't say that right away. They infer later when they say, "Hey, if you stick around and clients see you, they'll probably ask for you, so you should probably hide from them." But they don't explicitly say, "You're a guest. You don't have to service anyone." They cryptically say, "You're a guest of the lady," and she says, "Oh, I want to talk to her." And they cryptically say, "Oh, sorry, there's a
Don't they
lover
say the
right now."
madam?
And then
Yeah.
when
Will's right.
they say there's a lover right now, she goes, "What does that
Oh, the
mean?"
lady of
Because
the
they're just being really cryptic because they're trained to be very, very polite because they're servicing
hmm
the nobility and the rich of Xeon, so they can't be like crass and stuff. I just want to point out, by the way, best character in this entire episode is the chick who just wants it all to burn. I love her. She's awesome.
Yes.
She is my
Oh yeah, she's
favorite
awesome.
character.
But before we go further into
Who
that,
is
I do want to
straight
point
up.
out this is a brothel full of underage
Oh, yeah,
children.
100%.
Mhm.
The two maids
But they
are
bring
like
up.
8 and 12. They're barely like teenagers. They're so tiny.
Yeah.
Well, they did bring up that they weren't servicing clients.
Yet.
But once they got.
Yeah.
Once they became old enough, then they would.
Well,
But they
But
technically,
Lala
did.
is still technically
She's like
Well, no, at this point Lala would be older.
Lala was
eh,
But
16 when everything happened.
17
during the.
originally.
She was the same age as
She was
Shar.
17?
She
Yeah.
was the same age as him.
Yeah. No,
I thought
Char
she
was
was
19.
Shar
younger.
was 19. Okay,
Oh,
so Lala at this point would be like
Yeah.
damn.
23.
Stat. Oh.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You know, I can't say that. I can't say that. We just watched that movie.
Hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'd rather you not because you have a bad habit. But anyways, so Will, what
Shaw has
happens
questionable
from there?
taste.
So they wake up. She walks around. She the two of them who are like sort of introducing her to it. She mentions, "Are you guys like being held here against your will?" And one of the two maids goes, "Not really," because and she essentially defends it as if we weren't here, our lives would be worse, which is does not mean that they're technically there of their own free will because it's covered in armed guards and they're clearly not expected to be able to leave. Guards are there for the security of the guests that they have, but also to keep everyone from running away.
I
Um,
mean, we definitely find that out at the end of the episode.
yeah, but they do let them wander the grounds, and because they know, like, where are they going to go? Are you really going to escape the brothel where you have food, shelter, all this other stuff, so that you can go die poor?
It
So it's like
reminded me of Iron
they're
Bulleted
they're held
Orphans.
there by circumstance, and they're also being held there by force.
Yeah.
Uh,
It reminded me of
but
Iron Blooded Orphans, how the children were dying and their only option to actually survive was to get the Alea Vignana system installed in them so that they could be of use to a military to the CGS
yes, it is the same
before it
type of
became,
idea. Remember,
yeah,
they also drive home in this episode how
orphans.
devastating the death was.
Hmm.
And when Shalia is talking to Mashu, he mentions a lot of people became orphans and refugees because the place where they used to live was just absolutely, fell apart.
Hmm.
And it would be things like not only physically being destroyed, but because of the war, trade routes, economies, whole cities, like things would have just become so bad that everything would just fall apart as people nomadically go somewhere else for more opportunity. So people like Nyan are just traveling around, scraping by and trying to figure out how to survive. And it's worse for her because she's a kid. She doesn't have any like trade. She doesn't have any school. She doesn't have any like skills to speak of.
On
And
top of she's a
in a lot of the
tourist now.
sides they're looked down on, so people hate them, which is means she has to overcome that first, then do other things, which is a very the price of war type of situation. uh,
Hmm.
to continue forward with the plot, though, she wakes up, she talks to them, they take her in the hallway, she winds up meeting Lala and having a conversation with her while Lala is picturesquely on a swing. It's a very pretty scene. they, there's a sunset. It's very nice. And Lala talks about how she's essentially psychic, like traditional, straight up psychic. She dreams about other worlds and other versions of herself. She
She
sees
dreams
things
about the
before
Prime
they.
Universe.
Yeah, she dreams about things that happen before they happen. She knew that Machu was gonna crash land on the planet, so she told her maids like to go get her, and they knew where she was. They had the doctor ready, so she was taken care of immediately and fine. So she basically is like, oh yeah, by the way, I see other versions of me when I sleep. And in all of those versions, we run into a man in red who takes me away from this life. And we wind up falling in love, and I follow him, and I'm willing to die for him. Then she talks about how she also loved the man, Amuro.
And white.
She loved both of them
Right.
because she became so close to them, partly
In a
because
relatively short amount of time.
I mean, in the stress of
Hmm.
war, that's kind of how that happens. Everything gets shortened because you don't know if you're going to survive another 10 minutes, let alone 10 days.
Hmm.
So that does happen. It's a stress thing. But also
Don't.
with the whole new type thing, they always drove home that Lala was insanely powerful as a new type. So you could argue that she's tapping way more deeply into the other person than the average. Like usually people have to spend time together to like get to know each other and all of this, and she can just kind of skip all that and just know right away, like at the core, how a person is. She just knows. That's how ridiculously good of a new type she is.
So don't forget, she's also aware of another Lala
Yes.
who has seen those universes, or has been in one of the universes, and is in search of Char because he doesn't exist in that particular one.
Wait. She explicitly says there's another universe of herself, and in that universe there is no Char, much like she can't find her Char because he got blooped out of their world.
All I'm saying is that Lala is Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII Remake, alright?
Oh no, that means there's going to be an FF7R2, and you're gonna have to just say goodbye to the things you loved.
Yes, all the time.
So
we have this, then we have the burning of the brothel.
I love the burning so much. It's so good. They
love fire.
They explicitly have the short one say, "Weren't we only supposed to make a small fire?" And the other one immediately goes, "Yeah, but a bigger fire means better distraction. And besides, it should all burn." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa." I got that feeling from you earlier, but I'm glad we followed through on it.
She was like ready.
Oh,
she was
no,
she's
the one that they need to like fire, because if they don't, they're all gonna not wake up one morning, and she's gonna go, "Breakfast is served," and the only ones who survive, all the guards will be dead, the guy who runs it'll be dead, and all the girls will just leave because she poisoned everyone the night before. Like, that's that chick. Oh, fantastic.
She was dangerous.
So,
she was fun.
Everything burns, and then
Yep.
from there, Machu is told, "Hey, get Lala out of here."
Mm-hmm.
And so she
Take the
tries
lady
to take
and
her.
run.
Exactly. So she tries to get her away.
Mm-hmm.
She finds the Gquuuuuux.
Yep.
And as she's getting the Gquuuuuux out from the ocean, here comes Lala's guards.
No, she's getting.
Well, you're skipping a little, but she hasn't even taken up. So her and Lala run up to the core fighter.
Mm-hmm.
She tells Lala there's plenty of room for at least two of us. Get in, we can leave. And then Lala takes a stand and says, "No, I can't leave. I'm still waiting for him." And she's like, "That doesn't make sense. What are you talking about?" And Lala's like, "No, it's fine. Yeah. I'll just stay and I'll wait for him." And Machu's just looking at her like, "What are you smoking? We need to leave." And the Gquuuuuux, so she gets shot, and Lala's like, "Don't shoot Machu," puts her arms up, she T-poses for dominance, and it works. And she gets shot at, and as soon as the bullet hits the Gquuuuuux, it turns itself on and is like, "Right, we're leaving now." And it takes off. Because it doesn't want Machu to get hurt, so it's like, "All right, we're leaving. Bye-bye."
And
they fly away.
Gquuuuuux, go back.
Yeah, because she's not controlling it, because at that point, it's making its own decisions. Which
that thing makes more decisions than any of the other characters in the series.
At this point, it's the most obtuse, because we don't know why it's able to do that, how it's able to do that, and we don't know like what decision making is it following. Is it programmed to do that? Is it?
Yeah, it's freaking Haro.
It's not the right color. That Haro is not salmon. I swear to God, if they finish 11 and 12, and the episode preview for like season 2 is a fucking salmon Haro that just turns to the screen and like winks one of its eyes, Jesus Christ.
It'll be a Haro with a cap on it.
That Haro does have a cap on it.
No, it'll be a Haro that spins. It's salmon colored and it has sunglasses. Or an all gold Haro.
It'll be a Haro busting through a wall and goes, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, this series has something has something to do with droids. There are way too many that are active.
So I know why you're saying that, because of the thing that was with Nian in the next episode.
It's in every episode.
It's in every episode with Nian, yeah.
Well, that's because with Shuji, it's in every episode, and then after he bloops, it goes to Nian.
It's because she was there.
Yeah, she took it.
Yeah, and then she ran away.
So
because it was Shuji's, and she has to bring it back to him. It's their version of Cinderella, where she's bringing him.
So Paul, in 30 words or less, tell me what happens at the end of the episode, so we can move on to the next one.
We get Machu crying in the shuttle as the core fighter takes her into the ocean to get the Gquuuuuux. Then Machu starts freaking the fuck out because she thinks that she's going to get crushed because of the water pressure. And that was very funny. I liked that. That was a piece of
29.
art
You're at
that
30
they
words.
added. Whatever. The was a piece of that was art that they added in the creaking of the pressure on the cockpit as the core fighter gets
That was nice.
deeper and
It was
deeper
a
and
nice touch.
deeper to get to the Gcucks. And honestly, what the hell is that thing made out of? The only reason the Gundam survived re-entry was because it had a shield and it melted the shield that it had to protect it. Wait, didn't it also vaporize a Zaku as well when it was going into
No, you're
reentry?
very much confusing other things. There was no Zaku involved. You're thinking of multiple
Okay.
other Gundam
Yeah, I
shows.
know
Yeah.
it had a shield or something.
The only thing that re-entries is the G-Cux
No, no,
because
I'm
apparently
talking about,
it
yeah.
is
No, I'm
able to do
talking
that.
The
about
Pegasus shows up at
the
the end.
original Gundam when it came
Oh
in.
yeah, in original, yeah, but
Yeah.
don't confuse the two.
That's a
No, I'm
completely different
just saying the
show. Don't
Gcucks.
Paul, we already
don't
yelled
leap
at you
that
before. We're not
hard
gonna
from
yell
like
at you
when.
tonight unless you really fuck up again.
Sorry, no, the Gcuck. I'm just saying that the Gcucks is made out of something else that it could survive re-entry on its own. That was all that I was trying to get at. But yes, then we get
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense,
the
and you are correct.
that's all I was trying to get at. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, there's that. Then we get Shalia Bull playing Big Brother because he spoofed Machu's cell phone so he could track everything she did, every text she received, and her location.
Which they told her they
Yeah,
were doing. They said
multiple
out loud,
times.
"We're reading all of your texts." Like, just so you know, we are reading your mail.
Like multiple times. And
Yep.
then that's how they got uh, the Rose of Sharon. When they brought it up, you see it's the Elmeth, and inside is Lala. Is looks like original series Lala wrapped up
Traditional.
in
Also known
thorned
as Lala
ivy.
Classic.
So how do we know that who that is, and how did she get there?
It's the Elmeth. The only person who's ever piloted that thing was Lala. It was literally made for Lala.
And then it blew up.
Yeah, because it got in between Shar and Amuro. Did it
So
blow up
did
or
it
did it
blow up,
She was
or did
also?
it
trying.
Zeknova?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Because I don't remember
So
that thing.
technically, in the original, things get really
Mm.
metaphorical really fast, both in the movie and the TV show version of her death, quote unquote. Things get really metaphorical, and it shows a bunch of imagery trying to get across the emotion of the scene. I also trying to get across how it felt for Amuro and Shar when she
Hmm.
died, specifically for Amuro, because at that point they are pushing and that Amuro is much more sensitive to being a new type than Shar is. Shar is catching up and trying to keep up with Amuro, but Amuro
It
100% is
affected
ahead
both
of
of
him.
them so hard to the
To
point that they end up
Amuro,
using her as a basis for one of the arguments in Char's counterattack.
No, they
correct.
use her
It
as
affects them both
yeah,
deeply.
they use it as the basis of an argument throughout every single one of their interactions.
Well, in Zeta,
Anytime they
it's less
fight.
so because, Char's trying to overcome other demons and then redeems himself. But then Char's counterattack, he basically negates all of that because he's gone fucking nuts.
Hmm.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that's essentially what happens at the end of episode 9. Episode 10. Whoo boy! um, who wants to explain episode 10? Because this one's a doozy.
Um,
Bueller?
I'm just thinking of how to explain uh, literally everything that could get fucked gets fucked.
Okay, so we're not doing that in a show about little kids here, so let's try and say that again in a different way.
Okay,
So
anything that can blow
this
up
this
blows up.
episode
That sounds better.
this episode is essentially we've set up all the pieces and now we're going to very much lean into the we've set up all the pieces and now everything's going to get kicked over is where all the big moves
Legit,
start
everything
happening.
happens.
So this starts off with Cassilia meeting Giran and they flash to a duality they're pushing with Machu and
Man.
we get a lot. They push to a whole duality angle where they're pushing Machu and Nyan are both basically being selected by the opposing forces as their person. So you have the entire backstory of the Jupiter returner, and you find out why he's called that, because he literally came back from Jupiter and nearly died during the process. So they give this long, and I won't repeat his entire backstory. It's not really important that I cover the whole thing. The big thing is they went to Jupiter to harvest stuff. While they were there, something fucked up, and all the ships basically got stranded, and they couldn't get home from Jupiter. So they're just gonna die, which is essentially existential horror for a human.
And that's how we
You're
get into
just
the Callisto
stuck.
Protocol.
Oh, no, this had good writing. So,
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
We will discuss that after this podcast recording, sir.
so he's there. He basically has a full. Oh, how do I put this? He goes through the entire full nihilism, ego death. I am nothing. The universe is huge and vast, and I do not exist. I am meaningless. Everything is meaningless. What's the point of anything? And then he describes how freeing that feeling
He
is.
almost pulled a
He very
General
explicitly
Hind from
says,
Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
it's been a long time, I don't remember.
Okay, so just to do a
Other
quick
than
interlude
I wear a
here.
leather jacket and I shoot.
Just to do a
Jesus.
quick interlude here, at one very specific moment towards the end of Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, James Woods' character takes a gun, puts it in his mouth, and he's about ready to blow his brains before he suddenly decides, no, I'm not the problem, the children are.
He does.
So that's not really what happens here. This is a much more believable version of that, rather than James Woods being James Woods. So,
Damn.
in this version, he has full ego death. He goes on the existential thing. He's like, oh, nothing matters, blah, blah, blah. I am meaningless. I am so small. And then after that happens, he is sitting there. He's like, nothing matters. I don't matter. There's nothing that will happen. And when he's going to kind of just finish it all off with a pistol that he has, the ship just pops back to life. And they don't tell you how long they were there, but it's inferred that they were stranded for a fair amount of time. So when they come back, a bunch has happened involving the war. A whole bunch of things have occurred. The people died. It's when he finds out half of humanity got wiped. But then he talks, surprisingly, not about how that's a tragedy and bad. He instead mentions, I genuinely did not care. Because at that point, he was fully empty from the existential horror, and he just feels nothing. He's like, it's just, there's nothing there. And he mentions that when he met Shar, he recognized an emptiness within him,
They actually do
which
a
makes
quick
sense
flashback
because
between the two.
yep. Well, they jump real quick to the part in the movie where they're like, "Oh," and they shake hands. Hey,
And then they fuck.
kindred spirits. What?
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 Nothing.
Anywho, the they cut back to that, and then he essentially is like, "By the way, that's what I saw in Shar. That we were very like kindred spirity. The two of us had sort of that." And then I would argue that he essentially started to follow Shar's goals because he's like, none of this matters and I don't understand it, but you
Char's
have
goals
conviction.
gave him purpose.
Yeah,
That's
they
what
gave
he
him
says.
purpose, and also the conviction
Giving
that
you
Shar
purpose.
had very much convinced him, I pay attention to you. And then when he eventually learned new types are a thing and all of that, and he realizes he's a new type, he starts to kind of be like, oh, we're new types. That's also probably part of the whole me liking you thing, because we're both new types, so we both kind of sensed it, and yeah. Then it jumps to Castelia having a
No, it
conversation.
doesn't.
What?
The very first thing that we see before we go even to any of the stuff that you just mentioned, we get a news report regarding the solar ray.
Oh yeah, the entire plot for this one is
And
that
how
they're
the Earth
next to the.
Federation isn't gonna go.
Oh yeah, they declined to show up to the starting of the solar ray because they don't like them. They're being literally petty and petulant children. They're like, no, I don't wanna, which sounds about right. As someone who lives on Earth,
Yeah.
that sounds like our leadership. Yeah, you can look at any history book. That literally
We
just
lost the war,
that is
so we don't want to
that
go.
is
We don't
literally
wanna show
just
up.
human
We
history
took
for
up all of our
thousands
hope.
of years. Is somebody whining, I don't wanna, and then there you go.
Stay safe, everyone. So yeah, we do get that. So they basically just inform you that, yeah, they've got this thing going on. It's supposed to be for weather purposes. Yeah, we'll go ahead and buy
Yeah,
that for
sure.
now.
Zeon's
Sure.
never had an ulterior
Paul,
motive.
Paul, tell me,
Mm-mm.
what happens in this meeting with Cassilia?
First, she gets some. First, Cassilia starts shit talking to her brother, and his Third Reich bodyguard thinks that he can say she could say shit to Cassilia, and then out of nowhere, she begins to look like she's being choked out, but then it goes into some time dilation stuff that made no sense to me. How, if all of them are poisoned at the same time, why is it taking everyone everyone's reacting to it at different times? First the
So
bodyguard
it
went down,
it depends.
then
What bodyguard?
the general, the chick who was pouring the wine. First she went down, then the general, then Girin,
Hmm.
and then Cassilia pulls down her mask, her ninja mask, to expose that she has a little plastic thing over her
Yep.
face
So
to
she
filter
doesn't
the
show
air.
that until after she walks out of the room.
Yep.
Yeah, but yes, but apparently she planned to kill her brother
100%.
and all his supporters.
100%. Oh yeah. She is at this point making her move politically. She kills her brother, then immediately sends her ships out of dock and just all of her mobile suits. They go to full particle density for a fight and just start wrecking people.
They
Man, oh
wrecked
man, I love to see this
everything.
Unit 1 here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Shinji's a really good pilot in this universe. Looks a lot like a woman though.
Man, what's another name for Shinji? Oh yeah, Nian.
Shinji, also translated alternatively as Nian,
Who also had a game called Nian Cat.
she would.
Yeah. We're gonna go there. We're all gonna hate this. I'm not gonna edit it. But anyways, so Nian Cat, also known as Shinjiro from
Shinjiro.
Ultraman.
Uh,
Yeah, I went there. I'm sorry. I'm getting tired. It's
For,
late.
so G Freddy
Midweek.
Nyankuri?
Yeah, thank you. I lost my I lost my train of thought. You motherfucker.
Oh, sorry, my bad. It's G Freddy, the Diablo witch from Nyankuri.
Oh my fucking god! I hate you. All right, so it's Nian and I forget the name of the dude who was in the white Gan.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Alex.
Is that his name? Is it Alex?
I think it's No, sorry, it's Xavier.
Yeah. Xavier.
That sounds
It's
better. Yeah,
Xavier.
Xavier. I thought it was
I mean,
Xavier.
you could say it like
it's
that.
just
It's
Xavier.
He's
You're
French.
just being a little
I am
bitch.
quoting them.
He's not
That they
French.
say
You're
his
saying it just
name.
because he's in a
That's
Gan.
what they.
He's in a Gan that looks like he's French. You
No,
motherfucker. Sorry,
they
I'm getting
literally
tired.
say Xavier.
No,
That is how they
you're
pronounce it, and
feeling
then
it.
they write what we would normally say as Xavier, which is probably a name from another country that is in English.
Anyways, because we're focusing on way too much here, there's also a lot that's going on in this particular scene. So the G-Fred and the Gan, and it looks like it's multiple Gans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're not the same type. It looks like some are just like standard Gans, while this one is
They're the G version of the Gian. So he has the
yeah,
nice
mass
version.
produced. Yeah,
They have the like mass-produced version.
yeah.
Oh, you notice
They
his has
all
funnels? Sorry, has bits on it.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
And so does
That's
G-Fred.
well, it has bits
So
because he is a new type. He's very weak, but he is a new type.
right.
It's on his lands.
I didn't notice that. That's
That
cool.
is really cool.
Yeah.
So they are launching secretly against Cassilia's forces that are already out there, and they decide that they're gonna go ahead and do their strike against not Cassilia's forces, my bad, against Girin's
Yes.
forces,
Mhm.
and they wreck shit.
They win. They just win.
So we
Yep.
mentioned Big Zoms earlier. They have mass produced them. The very first one, they get a good shot off, and that's when they're like, "Oh crap, we need to scramble! Everyone, put on your ion fields," which Paul got a hard on for.
Hey,
A capital I
Am I
as far
wrong?
as he's
Nice.
concerned.
Am I wrong? You definitely got a capital I.
it it was. I haven't heard I field in so long, man. So long.
So then they're trying
Not
to take
just
on all the other
reflective
big zoms.
coding or whatever.
They're trying to take on all the other big zoms, and they end up doing basically like janky maneuvers in order to sneak onto there, get like under the skin, so to speak, get under their armor. either blast it open from within the different folds that it has, or just, distract it and then manage to, again, get it through the different cracks, still manage to actually blow up the multiple big zombs. But then, fucking Nian, she's got secret orders.
Mm-hmm.
Will, explain to me those orders.
So the orders, which were hand delivered to her by Cecilia in a sealed envelope, so they don't.
While she brushed her
Well,
hair.
yes, she brushed her hair and talked about a perfume.
That's the grooming.
Literally grooming.
That is
Literal
literal grooming. Yeah.
Also, it's figurative grooming because she's trying to make Nian like her. By the way, credit to Nian, they don't make her look like she believes Cecilia at any point. Nian is just
No, because she really only wants to get
all
to
she cares
Shuji.
about is that this furthers her aim. Cecilia is doing what she can to make Nian do what she wants. But the way that we know Nian works, you don't have to do a lot. You just have to tell her transactionally, do this, and it'll get you closer to the thing you want, and Nian will just go do it. Like, she doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
She doesn't value the bigger picture, other stuff. She doesn't care about any of that. She solely wants to go see Shuji, and all she knows is he disappeared into the other world, like new type. He blipped, and she's like, if I can make that happen again, maybe I can go get to Shuji or I can see him. So she flies in and she hooks up to this weird brown devicey thing, and the G-Fred plugs its face into the brown devicey thing, which is mounted to the Rose of Sharon, which is probably Lala from Gundam Prime, or Classic, Lala Classic, as she is also known.
New.
Oh,
Never mind.
it is officially, it is official. It is UC and GQ.
Oh, okay.
GQ is the Gundam Gquuuuuux universe.
And
UC is the
UC is
original.
the other one. So yeah, the parallel world of UC, where Lala is frozen in time, but she's apparently unstable. Because she's not from their world, so her existence is unstable. She's also wrapped up in a bunch of uh, like instability and new typiness energy. So they harness that and they shoot it. Which, shout out to the sound design team. The music that they
Mm-hmm.
play when they fire this thing is beautiful. It's really, really cool. And then they shoot a Bawaku, which is filled with Giran's forces, and it teleports it to right next to the giant flower gun thing that they're using. And when it like comes out of the rip in space time that they created, they play what sounds like the sound of whales, like really hauntingly whale calls, because it's a giant object in space and it's moving slowly because of its mass. And then everything gets sucked into the giant flower thing and is gone. So that's the button, and they deleted Abawaku, which was a space fortress, and for reference, they are in orbit around Earth, and they deleted a space fortress in orbit on the dark side of the moon. That's insane.
Yeah, that's about
Yeah.
right.
Oh, also, there's a part where Nian literally bitch slaps a scientist who's a sexist piece of shit. So,
Oh man.
that guy
Oh.
gets he opens his mouth and is like, "That's what happens when you let women run things," and then immediately gets backhanded by a mobile suit and dies in the vacuum of space.
And that's
I
when
was like,
not Char
"Wow."
ends up escaping.
Yeah, that's when possibly a clone of Char escapes.
We all have meandering thoughts here. That's where we went to.
And that's essentially where it
We
ends,
all,
with the Gquuuuuux and Machu gripping her head and being like, "What the just happened? That felt awful." Nian almost vomits
So,
because it's so intense. And all the other
y-
people who have new type potential are basically gripping their heads and being like, "What is that? That is awful. I hate it." And
so you're
hmm?
almost to the end there. There's one more thing that happens.
Yeah,
At the very end, Machu ends up, she ends up trying to get to the thing before it ends up happening. Unfortunately, it happens.
yes.
She ends up taking on Xavier, you bitch. Uh, she ends up taking, he blocks her attack.
Xavier.
God damn it! We're so close.
Accept
He
it.
ends up. He ends up. I'm gonna remove you. He ends up blocking her attack, and then Shalia shows up with the Kikaroga, basically is there saying, I'm going to take on all 10 motherfuckers.
Oh, he's gonna
here.
crush them. They're
Yeah.
gonna get slapped so
Yeah.
hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be a great
straight up.
fight, but it'll be real
Whenever
one-sided.
Shalia comes out.
And then the Gquuuuuux ends up making its way into the giant solar ray. And there's when she finds G-Fred. Nien already knows what the Gquuuuuux looks like. Looks up and goes, oh, the Gquuuuuux. And then Machu looks down and goes like, who's piloting that? Not knowing that it's Nien.
She also asks, why does it look like the Gquuuuuux?
Because it does. So I kind of hope the next episode or the one after, the Gquuuuuux makes its own decisions, and like the Gquuuuuux and the G-Fred like Digimon fuse into a super mega suit to like.
Oh, you son of
got
a bitch.
tie, got tie.
No, what? I'm not gonna say it because it's gonna sound so fucking bad. But watch, it's gonna be the Gquuuuuux and the G-Fred fighting over who's gonna be Prime, who's gonna be the primary.
Technically, Prime would have been the Red Gundam.
No, I'm talking about who would be the Dom in the relationship. Who's gonna be the Dom and who's gonna be the sub?
Damn it, we are not discussing that.
So the show is over.
All right, that's it, guys. So yeah, we're done. We're done talking. Have a good night, everyone.
Wait! Hold on. Has anyone done anything Mecha related this week?
No, doesn't care. He's telling you that what you did is meaningless. It doesn't matter. He wants you to go to Jupiter now. Too bad. I'm gonna end my recording and then I'm gonna convert it real quick.
Went and look what happened to him.